channel. So today I've been in Korea for officially 3 months, so I'm gonna make a little life update video for you guys. I haven't vlogged in a while because I was just adjusting to life here and trying to figure everything out, and I've been posting on my Instagram story a lot, so this is gonna be a lot of information, and I asked you guys some questions in my story and you answered, so it might be a long video, we'll see. So first thing I want to talk about is Cheongju. So Cheongju is really cute. Like, the more I get to know it, the more that I like it. There are a lot of other foreign teachers here who I have become friends with, and they're all really nice and really helpful for adjusting to the lifestyle in Korea. There's a lot of things to do in Cheongju, like there are a lot of restaurants, bars. There's a bar area near my house called Cheongju, and that's kind of where everybody goes on the weekend. There's a lot of shopping in Cheongju, in downtown, and in Jiwell, which is where all of the malls and like clothing brand stores are. And then there's so many cute cafes. If you've been watching my Instagram story, you've seen I go to cafes all the time. Cute cafes, like super aesthetic, flower cafes. I love it. My Instagram is thriving. Cheongju is pretty central and well connected to the rest of Korea, so to go to Seoul I take the bus for an hour and 20 to 30 minutes, or if the driver is really crazy, an hour and 10 minutes. But it's really cheap and efficient to get to Seoul from here, which is where we go a lot of the time, or the only other place I've been is Daejeon so far, and it was also really easy to get there, like cheap bus ticket and 1 hour on the bus. I haven't explored too much of the rest of Korea just due to COVID and trying to save some money, so hopefully in the summer and when all this is over I'll be able to go to the rest of Korea. But pretty much everywhere I've looked that I wanted to go, you can get to with either 1 or 2 buses with a transfer. So yeah, I feel really well connected to the rest of Korea, and it's not hard to get around. As for school, so we haven't started in class yet, so I haven't actually done my job that I got hired to do yet. School was supposed to start on May 27th for first grade high schoolers, which is what I teach, but it got pushed back to the following week due to COVID, and I think, fingers crossed, they're not going to push it back anymore. But again, we'll see. They could. For teaching, I have been doing online classes. I haven't actually met my students yet. I just make them a video presentation, and I voice over slides, and then they watch it and do the assignment. So I haven't actually got to see them face to face, but I've gotten to interact with them on Kakao. They got a chance to message me and introduce themselves so that we could get to know each other before class starts. But yeah, I'm really sad because I just want to meet them and start teaching already, and they really want to come to school already. So I'm hoping that it won't get pushed back anymore. As for COVID-19, so Korea is doing pretty well with the whole situation. We've never been on an official lockdown like other countries have been. So when I first got here, a lot of people were staying in and just being cautious. Towards maybe a month after I got here, things kind of loosened up a bit and more people were going out. We were down to less than 10 cases per day, but unfortunately we had a holiday weekend a few weeks ago, and somebody went to a club in Seoul, or they went to 5 clubs in Seoul while they were infected and exposed up to 5,000 people. But thankfully the government has gotten it under control and contact traced all the people that were exposed and has been able to get everyone tested really quickly. One thing that is kind of frustrating is the fact that one of the clubs that this guy went to was a gay club, and so the LGBTQ community is getting a lot of backlash and blame for the situation, even though we don't even know if this guy was part of that community, or if he was just there, you know, and he went to 5 clubs and 4 of them weren't gay clubs, so it's just kind of absurd. And it was also in a foreign neighborhood of Seoul, so it's interesting because it was a Korean who infected everybody, and most of the people who were infected or exposed were Koreans, but foreigners are getting a lot of backlash right now, and a lot of moms are like freaking out because they don't want to send their kids back to school with foreign teachers and just being really xenophobic. I personally haven't experienced too much xenophobia being like a white American woman, but Chinese people here have been experiencing a lot of xenophobia, and people of other ethnic minorities in Korea. So like for me, it's just frustrating because a lot of people are saying that, oh, the foreign teachers just come here because they can't get a job in their country, and it's like, Korea is one of the hardest countries to move to. Like, you have to do so much like clearances to get to Korea, so clearly that's not the case, because applying to move to Korea is like harder than any job application I've ever done. And it's really hard to get accepted into the Epik program too. So it's just all around misconceptions, and I think people just want someone to blame for this situation when everybody has to take responsibility. Like, the government should take responsibility for allowing the clubs to open, the clubs should take responsibility for opening, people who went to the clubs should take responsibility for going to the clubs, and like, we shouldn't be blaming anybody. But I don't know, that's just my opinion and my thoughts on the situation and my experience. So I had to get tested because I was in Seoul the weekend of the outbreak, even though I didn't go to Itaewon that weekend, but I went to Itaewon the following weekend after the whole like situation was under control, but I still had to get tested, so it was an experience. The test itself is really uncomfortable, but I mean, I didn't have to pay for anything. I just showed up, like, my co-teacher set it all up for me. I showed up to the clinic and they had a tent in the parking lot where they were testing people like one after the other, so I think they were probably testing like a new person every 5 minutes, which was really quick. We got our results texted to us actually within 24 hours, and it just said negative, so that was really good. And I had to stay home between the time I got tested and the time that I got my results, which was like less than 24 hours, but now I'm back to being able to go out. We haven't surged above more than 30 cases per day, so I think the situation will be okay, but again, we'll see, who knows. So the next thing a lot of people ask me about on my story is learning Korean. So people wanted to know if it's hard to learn Korean or if I like have learned Korean yet. No, I've only been here for 3 months, so I definitely haven't learned Korean yet, but I'm learning. So before I came here, I learned the alphabet and some basic words with Duolingo, and then now I'm taking a Korean class at the YMCA, and it's 30,000 won for this like little short semester from May to August. Usually it's March to August and it's 50,000 won, but due to COVID it was pushed back. So yeah, the Korean class is helpful. I'm in level 1, and when you show up they just kind of talk to you in Korean and see how much you can speak back, and then place you. So I'm in level 1, my friend Chelsea's in level 3, and then some of my other expat friends who have been here for a year or 2 are in level 2. So Korean, I would say, is some parts of it are easy and other parts are really difficult. Like, one part about Korean that's easy is that it's a phonetic alphabet, so once you learn how to read Hangul, you can pronounce everything, read everything out loud, which is really helpful. There are some things that are more difficult, like the grammar structures are a lot different, but another thing that's really easy about learning Korean is there are a lot of cognates with American words, which pretty much means it's the same word just with a Korean accent. So for example, camera is just camera in Korean, or Americano. Like if I go to a coffee shop and want to order Americano, I just say Americano 주세요, which means please give me an Americano. Or coffee, like the Korean word for coffee is just kopi. So like a lot of words are really similar, and you just say them with the Korean accent. So yeah, I think learning Korean is going well. It's hard. It's definitely challenging to learn any language, especially as an adult, but I'm getting there. So somebody else asked me on my story, is it true that Koreans always look really good and dress really nicely? And I would say yes, for the most part. Koreans are very, they care about their appearance a lot, and people here are always like looking at themselves in the mirror, taking pictures of themselves, so they always want to look their best. Yeah, I think Koreans care a lot about what they look like, and I don't really let it bother me. I just look how I want. I've been getting into beauty culture. Like I really like the skincare here. I've been like obsessed with perfecting my skincare routine, and I got my eyebrows microbladed, if you can see, and my eyelashes done as well, and it was really affordable. Like my brows were $200 and my eyelashes were $36. So yeah, I think compared to the US prices, that's a pretty good price. I also got Botox on my jaw, but I don't think it made that big of a difference on my jaw because I'm like chubbier, so I have a chubby face. But I think when Koreans get the Botox, like they have a lot of muscles like here, and then they kill that muscle and then their face gets slimmer, but I just have chub. So I don't think it really worked that well. The first month it was really nice, but I don't know, maybe I'm just used to my face now. I'm not really sure. I guess we'll see in a few months. Okay, somebody asked me what my favorite and least favorite thing about Korean culture are. So my favorite thing is this concept called Cheong. And Cheong is like this special like connection or friendship that you have with people where you kind of just like do nice things and go above and beyond. So like I go to this coffee shop after school a lot with my friend Chelsea, and the lady there like recognizes us and she's always so friendly, and she gives us little pieces of candy, and like we don't even speak, like she speaks Korean and like we speak very basic Korean, so like we can't even speak to her that much, but she's just so like nice, and like it's so heartwarming when we go there. Or for example, like other teachers at our school are always giving out food. I feel like giving out food is like a really big sign of Cheong, because it's really important to Koreans, and when people give you food, like you can't turn it down because it's considered rude. So I usually just take it and then give it, if it's not vegan, I'll give it to somebody else. So yeah, that's my favorite concept, or my favorite part of the culture. My least favorite part of the culture is this concept called nunchi, which is it's kind of like you're supposed to read people's minds to know like what they're thinking and what they want. So a lot of times at work, like if your boss or co-teacher wants something, they won't be super clear about it and kind of just expect that you'll know what they want. It's confusing and frustrating, especially coming from a culture like America where everybody is so like loud about their opinions, and yeah, so it's kind of like you have to subtly like tell from people's language and body language and like get hints from them to figure out what's going on in a situation, and I'm really oblivious, so I'm not good at this. And a lot of people stereotype Koreans as two-faced because like they're saying one thing but doing another. I think it's just something that you have to get in tune with the culture and understand. Like it's basically just a miscommunication between like Americans and, my camera is so like tilted right now. A miscommunication between like Americans and, Koreans and foreigners. So that's my least favorite thing, I would say. And then A lot of people asked about like the drinking culture in Korea. So I've experienced Cheongju drinking culture. I haven't experienced Seoul drinking culture, but hoping I'll get to this summer because apparently it's crazy. Like, my friend was telling me that in Seoul you go to like the like casual hunting bars where you meet people and sit down and have drinks and play drinking games, and then you go to the clubs and you are there all night, and then you get food, and then you go to Noraebang, and then you get more drinks, more clubbing, and then you watch the sunrise on the Han River. Like, it's pretty much an all-night affair. Clubs are open. I mean, even in Cheongju, like, I've stayed at the club until 7 in the morning when they kicked us out. So yeah, the nightlife is pretty wild here, and Koreans can definitely go hard when drinking. There's this traditional drink here called soju, and it's basically like a distilled liquor. It's kind of like vodka, but not as strong, which is dangerous because then you can drink a lot of it without having that like harsh alcohol taste, and it gets you really drunk. Koreans love it. Like, they can just drink so much of it, and they'll even pour it in beer, and it's called somek, and it's really like, I mean, it tastes fine, but the next morning it's not fun. It's really easy to get drunk on it because you can go to the convenience store and buy a bottle for less than $2 and then just drink it like outside before you go in the bar or on your walk to the bar. There's also casual bars where you can just sit down and have a drink. Like, makgeolli is rice wine, so there's a lot of traditional style bars where you can go to drink makgeolli. And then noraebang means songroom in Korean, so you basically go and just like sit and sing karaoke with all your friends, and it's super fun, like at the end of the night when you're just really drunk and you're all just like jamming out and singing to some like bangers. Somebody else asked me about the spring allergies here. So I don't actually have spring allergies. Like, I've never had them before. When I first got here, I thought that I was having allergies, but I think it was just me getting used to the yellow dust, because whenever I would go outside, like, my eyes would water and I would get a headache. And I think I'm used to it now because I don't feel that way anymore when I go outside. Or maybe the yellow dust just isn't as bad now. But my friend has allergies and she just takes acetaminophen and she's okay. I don't think it's any worse than the US, but I'm not entirely sure. Somebody asked me what the hardest thing to overcome was when I moved to Korea, and I would say I was really lonely when I first got here just because I moved across the world to a foreign country, and when I first got here I didn't really know anybody, and the only other person I knew was the other American teacher at my school. We were kind of in that same boat together, so we became really good friends. I'm an extrovert, so like I get my energy from like going out and hanging out with people and talking to people, so just being kind of like cooped up in my room drained like so much of my energy, and I was just so like tired and lazy all the time. But I just kind of put myself out there, started going out more. Like, I met some of these other foreign teachers in the group chat that I'm in, and like met locals at the bars and stuff, so, and I have a greater like connection of people to like hang out with when I'm feeling lonely. Somebody asked me about my favorite thing about living in Korea. I would say just being able to like live in another country and learn about another culture and language is my favorite thing about, not specifically Korea, but my favorite thing about living abroad. And everyone in Korea is so like welcoming and so eager to share their culture with me, and get to know me and want to learn about my culture. I'll be in the grocery store and people will just come up to me and be like, "Hi, where are you from?" and like start talking to me because I'm the only non-Korean in the grocery store. I think there is xenophobia and stuff here, but overall most people are really friendly. I think that's everybody's experience, not just mine, as a white American. girl. So yeah, okay, that's pretty much the end of my video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed hearing about my life updates in Korea. Please let me know if there's anything you want to learn about Korea or anything you want me to talk about in a video. I'm hoping now that I am more adjusted to life here, I will be able to make more content for you guys. And give me a follow on Instagram if you don't already, because I post a lot about my life in Korea on there as well. Okay?